So for this week's lesson, we're going to create a landscape using Google Slides. So this one is actually going to be created within your actual portfolio. So you're not worried about having to copy or paste anything. You're not having to worry about going in and going into creating a new one. You're just going to go straight into your digital portfolio. It's going to be on slide 20. So for this one, I've already created one to kind of show you what we're going to do. But for one for this video, I'm going to change it because you can do a desert. I'm going to change the next one into like a tundra type thing, a cold place. Um, so I'm going to click on slide 19, last week's sketchbook drawing. I come over here to the new slide, click open up a new slide. I'm going to click, drag, and hit the backspace key and delete all of those. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to create my background. Your background is the furthest item in your picture. And so we're going to layer. So we're going to go back to the front, which all paintings and drawings and whatnot are comprised of is three areas: your background, your middle ground, and your foreground. So we're going to be focusing on that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my shapes, and I'm going to go to the rectangle, and I'm actually going to go ahead and do my sky first. So I'm going to try and get about half of my paper. Let me make sure that it's lined up. And then I'm going to come up here to my paint bucket. Now, if you remember when we did the moon, I know that in class some of you talked about, well, you would rather find a picture, and this is why I said no. I wanted us to work on a gradient, because for this lesson we are going to use the gradient tool to create our features. So the one that was down here, if you look over to the left at my thumbnails, I have kind of a night sky. I think for this one I want to do more of a kind of a sunset. So I am going to go to gradient, and I'm going to click on the plus sign. So I know that I want, I'm going to do a pink and blue. So I want my pink to be at the top, and I want my blue to be at the bottom. So I'm going to go to here. Really don't see a color that I like. So I'm going to click, So I'm going to go here to the color. Click on the custom. I know that was kind of hard to see. I'm going to go over here to this purplish color. Go kind of towards the pink, because I want a pretty pink color. And okay. And so now I have the pinkish color at the top. I actually like that gray, so I want to keep that gray, but I want to add another color, and that gray will be in the middle. Well, actually, no, I'll let the gray stay here. And I'll add a blue by clicking on that dot. Going in, and I'm going to click on custom, because now I want a bluish, a light blue color. Oh, I like that. So now, while you're clicking around, you can change, because now I'm like looking at that gray and going, I don't really want the gray. So I'm going to go down here, click on the custom again. Let me go to a purplish color. Just go slightly dark. So if you are okay with the colors that are right here, you don't have to go and click custom, but I knew that I wanted to go more towards the pastel colors for my sky, which is the softer toned colors. And so that's why I have custom colored. Um, Now I went ahead and clicked on this square off screen, and I tried my best to match it to this kind of purple. It's just a slightly darker. And so now I'm going to click OK. And that's going to fill in my sky. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my shapes. I'm going to go to the rectangle. I'm going to start at the corner of this one, go across, and I'm going to drag down to the bottom and create my ground line. Now I want this one to look more like snow since I'm doing a tundra one, so I'm going to try and go more with like some grays and some pale blues to kind of give the snow color. So I'm going to go back up to my paint bucket. I'm going to go to gradient. I'm going to go to the custom color, pressing that plus button. So this square, I'm going to go to here, go to custom. I know I want to go, actually I kind of want to go, see what it would like if I went kind of a palish blue and stayed within that soft range. Now you can alternate between some lights and some dark colors to maybe to create some lines, to create kind of an illusion of maybe some texture. Uh, let's go with this pale blue right there. Perfect. Let's go add another one. Let's go with this soft gray again. Let's go that blue. Let's make this one like a pinkish color. Just kind of throw it off. Actually, I like the way that pink is. Sorry. So I'm going to add a pink kind of right there. And so you can see you can add more. Don't add too many because then it's going to make like stripes and we don't want that. I don't want radial. Nope, linear. And okay. And so now I have my sky and my snow. So I'm going to go outside of the box and click dragging across, making sure to click both of them. So click, drag, open up the, and now it's connecting both of them. I'm going to go to arrange and group these together. That way, when I click on it, it doesn't separate the two boxes. It moves together as like one piece. And that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and add my sun to it. So I want like a sunset. So I'm going to go here, go to my circles. Let's add my sun. I don't want my sun to be too large. Okay, so I have my circle. I'm going to go to my bucket, go to gradient. I'm going to go to the plus sign. And this time we're going to go radial, which means it's going to be center to the outside. And I want the center of my sun to be kind of a pinkish red. Let's see if I can get that one. Yeah. And I want to go out lighter. So I'm going to go to this far end. And I want to pick one of these yellow color, like so. but I'm wondering if maybe that's too light. So I'm going to click here and maybe go slightly darker, add, go to that one, and okay. Okay, and so now I have my sun, and I kind of like that. So if you want to add some clouds to this, you can. I haven't made up my decision, but I'm going to do this so I can show you how to use a clip art, because you are going to use um, a clip art for your trees or your cactus, depending on if you're doing a desert. And you'll do the clip art for your stars if it's at the night sky. Um, or if you're going to do clouds for this one. So I'm going to go into a new tab. I'm going to go to here and I'm going to look up sunset clouds. And so you're going to pull up this kind of thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on images, because I'm going to show you how you can do this um, to copy and paste images in there. So you're going to go to tools, which is over here. So you have all images, shopping, news, videos, more, settings, and tools. You're going to go to tools. For color, right here, so size color, you're going to go transparent. And then for type, you're going to click on clip art. Now, there is a thing called usage rights, in which case you have to make sure that you are able to use these images. So you're going to go to usage rights and you can do Creative Commons, um, which kind of just means like, you know, anybody could use it. So let's see if we can find one that I like. Not seeing one. So let's try and change up this. And maybe I'll go soft. I kind of want clouds that look a little wispy. So maybe if I change up from clip art to any type. Let's see how that works. Oh, I kind of like this one. All right, so let's go with this one. And let's see. So if you can see this, this has got like a little bit of a checkerboard background. And that typically means that it has a transparency. So I'm going to right click, go to copy image. Sometimes this does not work. Kind of hoping this doesn't work. So we can. Oh, it worked. Okay, so I'm going to add this here. Now let's say, for instance, I like this and I want it to go the other way. So what I would do is I would go, uh-oh. But I want a smaller one of this, or even just the same size, because I like this size. So I would go, I already have it in my clip art or clipboard, which is what your mouse kind of saves. So I would press Control V again, or just right click paste. But I want this cloud to be flipped. So I would click on this, go rotate, flip horizontally, and it'll flip it the other way. So let's say I want it to be off of my page. And then I'll double click, go to the black bar, and crop it to the edge of my slide. And there we go. So I'm going to see if I can find one that does not work, because it does not always work, really and truly. So let's say, for the instance, we like this one. I'm wondering if this one will work. But I'm like, oh, I like this one, but I wish it was turned to the side. If you go back, right click, paste. Uh-oh. Okay, see, well, this one didn't even work because it has that white background. But let's say, for instance, if I did want, and it did work, if I wanted to flip it, I would just go rotate counterclockwise, or even if you wanted to flip it vertically, like so. So that's how that works. All right, so I'm going to delete because now I have my clouds that I like. So like we did earlier where we made sure that these two were grouped together, I'm going to click on the outside of my box, click in, it's going to click everything. I'm going to go to arrange, and I'm going to group these together. So now all of these objects will move together. And I don't have to worry about later on clicking on something and accidentally moving something that had a place earlier. Now, if you want to ungroup it, let's say I need to move this cloud, I actually need to uh, cut off this part because I can see where it is. So you just go to arrange and you ungroup it. And that's all. So let's crop this cloud. And now I'm going to click back, go back to arrange, and regroup them. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is we actually need to go ahead and make our mountains. So whether you do yours with the snow or you do yours with the desert. So once again, here's the desert. You would look up stars, but I highly suggest you look up sparkles. Let me see if I can drag one off. Um, this is a sparkle, and I actually cropped some of it and rotated it around to fit my screen in order to get it to look like it had that many stars. So it's like one image. I just cropped some of it in half, flipped and rotated and rearranged it. If you have a crescent moon like this, make sure that you do not have a star here in the shadow. Uh, I know that you'll find several drawings like that, but that's still a solid moon. It's just the shadow is there. Okay, so we're going to create our mountains on our own and fill it with a gradient. Now, I want you to do as many different types of colors. Like, I kind of want the colorful mountains for this one. So you're going to have to kind of like play around with your colors to see what you like. So you're going to go to shape. Actually, sorry. You're going to go to lines. And you're going to go to what's called polyline. And you're going to get this cross arrow. So for the first one, I want my mountains to come down from side to side, kind of like an M shape. So the first thing I need to do though is I'm going to click, drag across. I know you really can't see it. And I'm going to go to the edge of the slide, click, go up the height that I want of my mountain. And now I'm just going to do several little clicks to try and create my mountain shape. So as you can see, it makes this line tool. And when you get to the end, it'll kind of make sure that it adjusts to click and attach. And so now you see my mountain that I have. If you double click in the shape that you just made, you can see all the points that you have clicked. So you can see the first one, the second, third, and the many of them that I made. You can go in and actually click on these dots and adjust your mountains. And that'll help. Because I don't think I really want it that steep right there. Okay. So I'm going to go to my bucket. I want to stay probably with this one. Let's go with like some purples and pinks for this one. or maybe orange. I don't know. All right, so gradient, custom. Let's see. My first color, I want the top of it to be white since mine is the snow. So I'm going to go in, go white, add, let's go with a red color. So for this first one, I guess I'll use the colors that are there before I customize. Let's go with red. Let's add another one. And let's go. Maybe I'll go complementary and add green. Now, sometimes you won't see the bottom of it depending on how you want your mountains. So even though I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I really like this color that I have chosen, the other part of my mountains will probably cover up a majority of this color. Okay, let's go with this one. All right, and so there I have my first set of mountains. So you can see where it didn't follow the shapes with the gradients, and that's fine. That's kind of what makes this a little unique looking for this. And I actually want my cloud, this one that I have right there, I want it to go in front of that mountain. So I'm going to go to Arrange, Ungroup. I'm going to click on this mountain, the cloud. Let's click out, see if I can get just the cloud. And I'm going to do Control and the up arrow to move it in front of that mountain. And I like that. All right, so now you can see that my line tool, let's go back and make sure that all of my stuff is grouped together. So click, drag, go to Arrange, group it all together so it doesn't move. So I'm going to go to the polyline again, click on it, crosshair. I'm going to move my mountain slightly lower, click there, go across, go up, and I'm just going to draw. Now, you kind of need to be a little bit careful because sometimes you can accidentally click off and end up messing yourself up because you have stopped your shape too early and you can't add. So you'll have to actually just start over. Just go again and readjusting. Okay. And actually, I think it's too low. So I'm going to use my arrow key and just kind of slide it up because I want enough space for some trees down here later. So back to my paint bucket. And this is now the second set of mountains out of our three. I also forgot to mention earlier, we are now currently working on our middle ground of our scene. So we've done the background with the sky, the clouds, and the sun. And we are now working on our middle ground with the mountains. So gradient tool, custom. And I think this time I want to definitely go more of the cool colors. So let me go white at the top. Let me go. Sorry, it's taking forever. Let's go more with, let's go with the blues. Add one more. And let's go with purple for this one. Okay. And so we have that. And I like it. So we're going to go back to our poly tool, and now we're doing our last set of mountains. Create the edge first. All right, let's pull this one down so we get more of a mountain peak look. Now, you don't have to make your mountains look like mine. You can change your shape up how you want to. I don't even know, because if you can tell between the one that I made earlier for this one is completely different from this one. So how you arrange your mountains is totally up to you. All right, so paint bucket, gradient. And I think this time I'm going to definitely stick with some whites and some pinks. Let's see what we can get if we just go with two colors. I'm going to go with a dark pink for this one. Custom. The darker white you can see. Okay, let's go with that. Just two colors for this one. Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. All right, so now I need to add some trees, but I need to make sure they stay silhouettes. So silhouettes being just like this, these black outlined shapes. So I'm going to go back to this, and it's already got my settings that I liked. So let's go trees, silhouette. So SILHOUETTE. I always misspell it. All right, so if you can see this, you can see that there are some trees that have like this black, the ground, and we want to avoid those. So I actually want the ones that look like a pine tree, since I'm doing a tundra. And I know this is green and I don't want that either. So let's see if I can go pine tree. All right. Oh, and I like this one. So this one has a shadow on the ground, which will kind of give a little bit more illusion. It has the checkerboard background. So right click, copy image. Let's go back to my portfolio, and we're going to right click and paste. Okay, perfect. So you can see that this is way too large for my picture. So making sure that I click on this corner, because it's going to keep my shape. I'm going to shrink it really small first, because I need to give some foreshortening or create an illusion of some distance. So let me go ahead and place this right here. And I'm going to press Control C or right click copy, because the one that I already have on my clipboard is actually large and I don't want to have to shrink it again. I don't mind so the Control V should make a second one. There it goes. So there's my second one, and I'm going to put this side by side, and maybe even shrink it just a smidge. Okay. So see, now it looks like there are some pine trees in the distance. Going to paste or Control V another one. And I said you need at least 4 silhouettes. So even if it's the same one and you just change up the size to kind of create some depth into your drawing is fine. All right. All right. So that's 3. But I want to go in and change it up a little bit and add a different type of tree silhouette. So let me see if I can find one that's different. Oh, I like this one. Hopefully this one works. It looks like it should. Okay. All right. I'm going to use my arrow key to move. All right. I like that. Let's make it just slightly larger. And move it over. So you can look over here on the left side to kind of see how your overall image looks. And so now I have this to create my illusion of the tundra. But I happen to notice on here that it has this little silhouette, and I like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add this, and hopefully I don't mess up my picture, but it's okay because I can always delete later. Um, so I want it to kind of look like you're standing underneath a tree. So it's going to have a very large, um, the branches there. So I'm actually seeing I don't want it in that corner. So let's go and flip it. So rotate, flip horizontally, and let's move this here. So now it's kind of like we're standing next to a tree, and that's the upper part of our vision. And I like how that looks. I kind of want to see if maybe I could add um, one more. Okay, well, okay. Maybe I'll just use the same one and keep it instead of rotating it. Well, actually, let's flip vertically and flip it on its side and use the bottom of the branches. So right click, rotate, flip vertically. And see if that works. and that works. Because if you look over here on my thumbnail, let me see if I can scroll a little bit. Double click. Let's get this bar. Slide it up. Let's get this bar. Slide it over. Sorry, my computer has started to drag. I think it's because it's trying to and there we go. So let's click out. And now we have our picture. And that's all you have to do for this week. Yay! Oh, let's go ahead and group all our images together. Sorry, haha. So that nothing gets clicked or moved by accident. So, arrange and group. And now that this is on your page 20 in your digital portfolio, you don't have to worry about moving it. It should already be on the slide that you need. And so that was the tundra one. And this is what the mountains or the desert looks like. So desert, tundra, you get to pick your choice for it.